Again, we're up. Welcome. We took that time because we needed some time to pitch off in that conference officially, and we didn't have any more time to do that, actually. So this is how we will describe how it was to actually organize this year's openSUSE conference. So it started like 3 years ago, 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, when we went to Nuremberg, 3 years ago, when we went to Nuremberg, and we had a great time, and then we thought we had to do something like that. And Nuremberg was amazing. Those guys did an amazing job. You were there. So in 2000, so we went for 2012, but Prague came up, and we were not feeling ready actually. So we said, okay, let's go to Prague for this year and next year. In Prague, although we were prepared to conference, there were some things that the people didn't know if they are going to have an openSUSE conference 2013. So there were some arguments. Thank God they actually agreed that we will have that conference. They decided, although he's not a community like the typical way. Yeah, you. Anyway, so we took the conference. That's good news. The bad news is that when we started the whole idea of getting the conference, and this goes to some of those guys because they were lazy to do that. We had more than 20 people that said, go ahead, Kostas, and we are back supporting you. None of this happened. Nobody supported me except Stella, who at that time was not actually in the community. So it's her first big thing that she did for the community. So I felt a bit strange about all that. Thank God she helped, because I don't know if even that conference would have had her, definitely wouldn't have the same quality.
Thank you, Kostas.
It's the truth, don't thank me about that. Thank me for putting up with you, but not for that. This is the truth.
That's what I'm thanking you for.
Okay, so we took the conference, and when we started organizing the conference, everything started going in the wrong side. We had a perfect venue that we wanted to take people to, but when we started negotiating with them, they told us, maybe March we can tell you. When is that? We had some connections that we both thought that it will help us, but the good here is that this happened very soon. The connection we had, and we planned it to use it for the conference, most of them didn't happen because they wanted other things. So even though we thought we were prepared, we found ourselves in a state my laptop doesn't want slides. So although whatever we planned failed, the good thing, it failed early. So we had a lot of time to do that. What does organizing this conference means? This means that from 11th of November, which I think is the date that the board announced that officially the next conference will be Greece, the exception of no more than 20 days, all the other days, 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, and my girl can confirm that. So it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of work not because it's actually a lot of work. It was a lot of work because we had no people helping us. Yeah, no, this was very disappointing, right? At least not as much help as we wanted to have, because people help, but many things happen to some people that they genuinely wanted to help, but in the end of the day, that's not. 20 people for the conference and none for the conference. Thank God we had some guys around, by the way. The promo video stuff, whatever you saw, Yeah. So, yeah, that's a very big story, actually. If you want to say stories like that, we needed Stallman tell me about marketing, and then AJ to mentor me, and then some Fedor guy to throw me out. And anyway, so you got me.
Yeah. For organizing a conference, for me, the most important step is that you actually set a very specific timelines again. Because what happened was that volunteer, but they didn't really put that in terms of time. They didn't quantify what volunteering means. And when they took up tasks, they didn't say, okay, I will do this task, which means that I will be working for so many hours, so many days, so many weeks per month. And this was a problem. This was a problem. If that were to be clarified a bit more, it would be easier for them, it would be easier for us, because we would know exactly when we finished. Something very important too is that you actually have hands, as Costa said. You need to have people to help, people to do stuff, and you need to be able to delegate all that stuff to the right person. So it's very important to pinpoint who can do what, so that you can put this person in charge of something. And pretty much also delegate it to volunteers, ideally, because there is still so much work left for organizers.
One thing I forgot to say is that I had to thank son Andy and Carlos, who made everything you see here from graphics. Andy, we miss you. In case you're seeing, we miss you, dude. Yeah. And he had that time limitation where he couldn't work with Stella, but Carlos was lucky, so Carlos is a hero. What else I want to say? Sorry guys, I honestly don't have the brain to make a presentation this at the moment. I just want to pitch off, so I will continue.
Yeah, in an international conference like this, when you have volunteers from all over the world, time difference is usually an issue. I mean, people stay up really late or early in the morning, that is, and it's a bit difficult to coordinate all that. And one of the main things that we were called to do in the beginning was which application to use for organizing stuff. Because up until now, up until Prague, we were on wiki pages, and then we moved to Trello, but I saw that still people didn't really use that. And it's important that we are all on the same page about the tasks and how we use the application for the tasks so that everything goes faster and we know who is the tasks and if he's actually doing it or he hasn't started yet or if it's completed. And if it's completed, this completion must show. It's not enough to mark the task as completed. You have to actually show the result. What did you do? Okay, this poster is completed, but where is it? Where can I find it? And where's the source file? Having the source files was a nightmare sometimes for me. And it's really, really important because you can have like a minor spelling mistake, but I have to wait for someone who is in a different time zone from me to wake up, and I have to find him online while I'm asleep just to do a spelling correction. So it's very important to have those source files. Yeah.
So let's go back to the title. It's a compass without a map. The title is very symbolic because what it meant is we've been to openSUSE conferences before, right? We went and volunteered in the previous two. So we knew where we want to go, what we want to see. But the things that we fell into that time that everything was changing for many things, at least in SUSE, many things changed in openSUSE, and most of the problems we had is that although we knew that we had to go there, we didn't know how to do that. And we were ahead of making steps, but we had to know what steps to do because in order to have everything on time, although we knew that it was nothing, something would go wrong and something would not be in time, food for this conference, for example. Anyway, but yeah, the thing that we had no roadmap. Nobody told us you first have to make artwork for T-shirts, then you have to have the venue, then you have to. I'm giving an example, and it's not the. it's the actual things that need to happen. I'm telling that for you. So, yeah, also, I decided that I don't want to drink so much alcohol, and that was a bad idea, actually. So I made all that sober. So, yeah, that's why I gave you Uso. You will need that. For the first month, then you will need more. And more. So, also have in mind that it's very important to have a woman in your team, because women actually see things that not guys does. But also get your so are beating so hard, so much that, yeah.
It's a true story.
Yes. Come on, they're here 3 days, they know. So,
We have questions.
you have a question?
In the town hall, Theo made the comment that the board wasn't involved in anything you're doing, so you got no thanks from us, you got no help from us, etc. How do you see the interaction with the board and the organisers of the conference moving forward in the future? I know this is done, but we want to learn from our mistakes to ensure that going forward things improve.
Okay. She did all the planning. So we'll hear all from her. But all I want to say is that, just to be clear, right? I know that board, you guys didn't do that because you didn't want to help us. It's just that we were in that spot that we actually needed some help, and you couldn't and didn't actually know where to go to get that kind of help. So that was all the bitching around. But she will tell you what.
Yeah, there were individual board members that helped, especially in the beginning, I have to say. Robert, for example. At some point, we were packed with work and tasks, and there were tasks like do an announcement in more format and to more, not special people, but some very specific things, not just general promotion and general social media, stuff like that. And it was really time consuming for us, and we had to overthink about this and how to write this. And my thought was that the board would be, first of all, more experienced in doing that, because you probably written press releases and stuff like that, or you could more easily delegate this to someone that actually did, and you could coordinate it with the person that is suitable to this work. And follow up on thing. And secondly, well, it was the board, so if we needed help, who should we ask? The board. So it was our first choice. I mean, you have things that need to be done, there's not enough time, and there are definitely stuff that happened locally. People didn't really know about all that. We had to run around. So yeah, we wanted to delegate not the actual tasks necessarily to the board, but the coordination. Yes, because this was kind of discussed, and maybe it wasn't very clear through IRC and all that. I mean, a lot of tasks, you don't necessarily have to do the work, but the person that actually coordinates this task and makes sure that the task is assigned to the right person, then takes it and makes sure that someone checks the spelling, it's proofread, and you make sure that if something needs to be verified, it is verified. This is very, very useful, and board definitely had more knowledge on how to do stuff like that. I mean, I had to search for the right person. I had to ask a couple of people until I could get the right person.
The thing is that that whole bitching on our side came out because we had secondary and third tasks that practically anybody could do. I mean, small Theo's brother could do that. Like who will go to get fires, who will make some reading. Just need someone focused who can speak English to do that, right? And we even had to spend 10 minutes to decide what color of straws we will have in the bar. I mean, we did everything, from where to put the posters, from where you will find tape to glue the posters, from the venue, everything you saw that passing out from our hands. And the thing is that because we're two people, we continue losing a great percentage of time of telling again and again, because when you're doing like at least 20 things at the same time, you lose track of most of them. So we consume most of our time in saying the same thing again. I think sometimes I think the staff old. So I think when that happened, so we had no third party to just see something and say, oh, Kostas, you are wrong here, or Stella, you are wrong here, and just make the workflow, you know, just.
So would it have helped then that if you had, as part of the conference organisers, somebody external to Greece that could help, you know, taking that higher view, as this done, you go to do proof just like that. You didn't have these little guys, but you know, people in China or the States or whatever can also participate in helping to organise.
Yes. Mostly it was that, but some local people should have been here. Yeah, Agustin. Where is Hene, by the way? Oh, he's leaving.
In order for the following year, for the next year conference, I have two suggestions. The first suggestion, well, it's normal when you have people that has gone through the process of helping in conference or organizing conference. It is a good idea to send them to the following conference a couple of advance as local volunteers to help the current team that is doing the work in some key tasks, especially the registration task or being chairman and this kind of thing. So I would like to recommend that next year we think about sending volunteers from the openSUSE project a couple of days, 3 days in advance, to give them time to take on the ground key tasks or help the local organizers in key tasks. So I would like to see you guys next year in Dubrovnik, probably 2 or 3 days in advance, helping the local team. And the second thing is about the most important thing. Some month before the event is to actually have a clear plan. And you guys didn't have it before because nobody basically told you exactly the order of the things.
Actually, I heard of this from some previous conferences. Then things in Prague were a bit chaotic because they started with some
Very
way,
late.
then you
Yeah,
came
of
up, and it was more confusing than if we didn't have any. It would be more easy because we thought we had some. That's why all that happened.
Yeah, I think that for the following organizers to have some kind of, and I think it's well doable, and the ones that have done something like this before, and also the board, and also the people that have been helping this year. It's doable to provide the next year organizer a clear plan of the main tasks that we want to do and some kind of flow in the order. I think that it's something that, as an event, we as a project, we need to really provide to the main organizer.
Yes.
And also, we need to provide a clear agenda on who does what. Obviously, through the journey of organizing an event, you will need some people that take care of a specific task. But we cannot assume and run around people to simply know who's going to make the decision. It's part of the major problems you always have. So you end up getting to the last few weeks with a lot of pressure. So another thing that I would like to see that we provide to the following organizer, and that means that we need commitment from people in the project, who is going to be in charge of what. So the local organizer do not have to be praying in the desert through mailing list or in IRC, but they have one person to contact. Just one for each part. And then they manage or organize themselves however they want to, but just one person. And also having regular meetings face-to-face with those people that are in charge of this area, something that I think it's really good to do way in advance. Because at some point, you can adjust your workflow and your working, knowing that in 2 weeks or in 3 weeks, you will be able to take a decision, especially once the decision is taken, it's communicated. So the rest of the people knows that that decision was taken. So from my point of view, having a group of volunteers way in advance, some days in advance in the event that knows how to do keyword ground tasks. B, creating a clear plan of major tasks, provide those tasks, and providing them. It's really for you.
For next year, things are pretty easy because we have Trello, so we have Trello ready. So what you will do is just copy all the tasks, put it on your Trello. No, honest, this is it will be very practical. See what of those tasks you just don't need. For example, room names, you change the room names, or I don't know, municipality stuff that we wrote. You throw some and you have a great roadmap to start working on. You know, give people tasks, and we should start making tasks. And next year we'll definitely be here to help you. We did that before. Now that we learned, it's our pleasure. Anyway. So.
Yeah, and don't forget for the Trello to educate people on how to use it. There are a couple of things that you need to specify. There were some questions.
Yeah, so one thing, sorry for going back to the topic, Andy left, but anyway. Sorry. So one thing about what Andy said earlier is that regarding the board, I think that the board should have a discussion with all the previous organizers about what was needed or what was not. Or just make it to the thing they should be affiliated for the congress. Want to take any tasks, they shouldn't do it board members, but as community members, as everyone.
That's finished. It's something that we did anyway, so let's not go there.
Yeah, and if the board knows in advance that they will do 1, 2, 3 things, it's easy for members to make up the time and schedule that and everything.
Wait, I actually have a remark regarding the procedure to even become a sponsor. As last year in Prague, I had this really inspiring talk with Kostas and the other Grecos which were present at the place, and I simply pledged, guys, if you want to do this, I'll support you, I'll sponsor you. And I think it's paramount for businesses to do that anyway, but I also think that on the receiving end, it could be a little bit easier to accept the money, at least have a procedure in place. To be quite honest, and I am Dutch, so spending money is something I do not do lightly, but this was actually just about the hardest part ever to spend money on. That being said, from my end, this has been a magical experience. I think you guys have a fantastic job in organizing, preparing, and simply running. I hope I will be able to be next year in Dubrovnik, I think it is. Right, cool. I wish you much luck, and I hope you will reach the same standard. And may these guys inspire you. They are rock solid. Rock and roll.
Back to back. 3 talks in a row. 1 minute? No. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So next.
Just want to say about the sponsorship, if everything, this is the first edition of the openSUSE conference in which we actively seek for sponsorship. Actively seek for sponsorship. Well, we have done it in the past, but the processes we needed to set up. I mean, before it was done personally by one person, and now actively seek for sponsorship in order to have something that had 2 conditions, right? First, compatible with SUSE. And second thing that I want to make clear here is that whatever sponsors goes to the project, it stays in the project, right? That internally needs some requirements for that to happen, and the people involved in the whole process, it was also the first time that did this, and but I think we are in good shape now to make sure that the following events that the community organized we can improve not the process because it's set up, just the execution, but especially that we have I think we have a nice setup now for escalated, for being able to get support from more people. And also, we have also to understand that with the current setup, everything is defined to go through SUSE in terms of money. And although we might think that providing support to local people for certain activities might be easier for them, the truth is actually it's not, for several reasons. First one,
I don't think we need to go into those details,
Okay.
Augustine. So, I mean, so once again, thanks to Kostas and Stellas for carrying the event and making it a great experience.